In a world where all the navies of the continents unite, discovered is a mysterious object or entity that causes submarines and ships to vanish in a particular location of the ocean. It's not quite that simple, as history would lead ties back to the atlantical land of Mu that exists on the floor of the ocean. In contemporary times, Submarine 707R was summoned by a whale back to the land of Mu, only to discover Commander Red Silver is at the source of all this madness. And what does he want? Of course, an element of the Earth's resources. The original 45-minute OVA from 1997 for Submarine 707R, based on the 6-volume manga from 1963. By the way, the same guy made another submarine-themed manga turned anime you probably heard of called Blue Submarine No. 6, has vanished into the realms of almost lost media because of the 2003, which is actually a prequel to this one, and most definitely we'll discuss that one later. But for now, I thought that this is a pretty solid OVA adaptation for 90s OVA junkies for that matter. Deep Sea Fleet, which is the other name for Submarine 707R 97, isn't the greatest thing in the world in retrospect, but I appreciated it as a very brief travel into the manga's story, and sort of an underwater adventure. Now, many would say that the manga was pretty ambitious for the 60s considering where anime and the world was at that time. And side note, they planned to do an adaptation in '64, but it never worked out and they did an audio drama instead, which makes sense for that time period. Back on track though, by 1997, with so many mecha stuff out there and Gundam and experimenting with somewhat futuristic technology, this can be pretty underwhelming and pointless to watch, where humanity and borderline aliens come together in a story to create warfare. You need to come with something unique in order to stand out. And I believe that explains why the 97 OVA will take you some digging to find online if you want to watch it, because it kind of became obsolete with the more modern one. Especially in the West because the 03 one had a home media release by Aniplex and Genion. But, I went out my way to make sure I included it in this review. Very expected animation and art as you can see here, it's the 90s. Now there's only a sub-release as far as what can be found online. The story is kind of wonky because it throws you into Mu's backstory and then it kind of drops you into modern day with battles and then a brief run-in with the Commander Red followed by a climactic battle and ending. All of that in 45 minutes. But if you're a dedicated completionist like me, well, I'm starting to have shorter tolerance these days, but if this is you, I don't think you'd hate yourself if you sat through this one. But yeah, on to the 03. This made me automatically see where there's a connection between this and Blue Sub 6. A lot of the feeling of the story and the lighter tone drama feel gave it away immediately. Now, Blue Sub 6 was pretty intense and all of that, but it had its moments where it kind of, slowed down the vibe a bit. What you'll first notice in the first 20 minutes of the anime is that it's not the ADHD experience a lot of movie-length OVAs tend to be. There's a slower pace to this anime, and it took its time to deliver a more cinematic production. I had a hard time following the plot. However, it's basically a world where United Nations of battleships is formed in order to bring peace or maintain peace upon the ocean. Red is back in this story launching a terrorist attack, which initiates warfare. One ship appears as a sacrifice, which is the 707. Months into the future, a new team is formed called the 707-2, and a battle is underway. It kind of reminds me of an oceanic version of Wings of Animes, as the young new blood is passionate about their journey into this world. And that excitement is kind of the way they had dude in Animes, where he was all excited about flying and this and that. But trust me, that's quickly lost as the story goes on. So all in all, don't expect too much to happen in terms of a story here. But there is one though. I really love the art and animation, and it will be the first thing you notice about it when you put it on. It actually looks better in my opinion than Blue 6 does. It has slight touches of CG, you know, I think it's kind of there, but it's not really standing out. More noticeably, it's a good use of contemporary technology for that time as far as animation goes that will stand out there. Now, if you watch the dub, you will notice the quality of the audio, sound effects, and Foley are insane, even if your audio source itself sucks, and the dub acting itself along with this is top notch and it keeps you focused and locked into what you're viewing. This is always a shame to see because these are the type of anime nobody remembers, if anyone ever knew about it to begin with actually. Anyways, beyond all the great production stuff, this does just drift off into being a submarine war anime with tons of military style dialogue that I have never and will never be able to keep from zoning out from. And of course, tons and tons of explosions. In a lot of ways, this is wasted potential. It isn't my first choice of a type of anime anyway, but looking at the animation here, it's kind of mind-boggling that this doesn't get more shine. Or it could have been longer or got a TV adaptation to go with it or something, but I find peace in knowing that I'll outlive the potential of solid anime out there both visually and experience-wise. I'll actually never see all of the best in anime, and neither will you. We probably will never even find all the best of the best either. But that's why channels like mine, Bob Samurai, Kenny Lauderdale, Kyoto Video, and tons of others are here to put a spotlight on a lot of these. Like the video, comment down below what y'all want to see next. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Animebackwhen.